CEO Michael Needham. Michael, good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
What do you think of that tweet? Is that the answer? Could that do anything?
I think that the president's right. I mean, the American people are sick of the dysfunction that we see in the United States Senate. You have 48 Democrats who are absolutely refusing to do anything to help solve the problem they created with Obamacare. You've got 3 Republican moderates who voted against doing anything to solve it. You have more moderates who don't even want to come to the table and negotiate. So let's put some pressure on Congress. Let's make sure that they feel the full impact of the premium increases the American people are feeling.
But, Michael, you heard from Nancy Pelosi over the past 24 hours. It seems like they're ready to come to the table. They want to shore up Medicaid. They want to make sure that those expansions are in place and that these people are taken care of. Do you think Democrats will actually come to the table?
Not on anything useful. They want to prop up Obamacare. They want to bail out Obamacare. And actually, some Republicans, Senator Lamar Alexander, said he wants to bail out Obamacare. That's not the answer. The answer is we need to deliver relief to the American people, get them out of this unfair, unaffordable law, start allowing them to get insurance that makes sense for themselves. The only impediment is the United States Senate. The House has shown it's willing to act. The president has shown he's willing to act. The Senate needs to come to the table. And if it takes a little bit of pressure by getting rid of this absurd exemption that they have, then that's exactly what needs to happen. I hope the president follows through on his threat.
Let's talk more about your op-ed. Obviously, we're reporting on it here. How much play has it gotten in other media outlets?
It's gotten a lot of play because the American people are sick of Washington, D.C. playing by different rules. Here's what the Congress did. You couldn't make this up. Obamacare, they were forced by the law to go into the Obamacare exchanges, but they didn't want to suffer what so many other Americans suffer, the loss of employer coverage, the skyrocketing premiums. So Congress, which employs thousands of individuals, defined itself as a small business. They said we have fewer than 50 employees, which isn't true. As a result of defining themselves as a small business, which none of us could do, they put themselves into the D.C. Small Business Exchange and are receiving up to $12,000 of subsidies to help themselves deal with these gargantuan premiums that are crushing everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about draining the swamp, something we continue to hear from President Trump, and this is right in line with what he's talking about when you think about the members of Congress that spend most of their time living in the swamp. You know, they're not living with their constituents. They don't understand the daily grind that most of them go through. So you talk about health care, to your point of maybe they should see what it's like to live under the Obamacare exchanges, to know just how many people are suffering and why they are. I mean, don't you think that would give them a different perspective?
It would. Washington, D.C. should be subject to the same exact laws of math that the rest of the country is. If you employ thousands of people, as Congress does, you do not employ fewer than 50 people. That's just a mathematical fact. And you should not be eligible for special preference to get $12,000 to help you cordon yourself off from these huge premium increases that are crushing millions and millions of Americans suffering under Obamacare.
Do you think this would come as a wake-up call to them? I mean, are you hearing from any members of Congress who were surprised by the president's outrage over the weekend?
Well, and it's been for many years that Congress has been. In 2013, when they were first going to feel the full impact of Obamacare, Congress went crazy. That's what caused President Obama really to break the law by allowing these subsidies to continue to flow from the Office of Personnel Management. Congress doesn't want this to happen. It's exactly the type of pressure point that President Trump can use to force Congress to come to the table, make those moderate Republicans follow through on a pledge that they've been making for 7 years that they want to repeal and replace Obamacare. And who knows, maybe we'll get a couple of Democrats who, once they feel the pain that Obamacare is causing so many millions of Americans, maybe they'll want to do something productive to start unwinding that law.
We'll see.
Well, maybe when the election comes a little closer, they realize they're not going to have a choice but to get involved in fixing the healthcare system. Michael Needham, good to have you with us.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Coming up, proud to